welcome to the channel. Today you find me in the kitchen, at the kitchen table, and it's a kitchen table where we're doing an awful lot of our planning work. One of the key aspects of everything we do in terms of planning each year is working out what seeds for what vegetables we want to grow that year. It is probably the most important thing we do in terms of planning, because the seed order determines what we're going to grow, how much of a particular vegetable we're going to grow, what space we need for that vegetable, how it fits into our crop rotation, and there's lots of interrelated aspects we need to consider. The first stage of what we do when we look at the seed order is actually what we want to grow during the winter months. The winter months are the key aspects. We follow books like Vegetable and Fruit Gardening by the Royal Horticultural Society. It's got lots and lots of detail in there as to when things can be planted, how long they will take to grow, what spacing they need. Throughout the sort of spring and summer months, those sort of dates can be flexible. However, there's one set of dates which there's not really any flexibility on, and that's what you want to grow over winter. Because the overwintering crops have got to be put in at a specific time. They've got to be put in at a time where they've got sufficient time to germinate, to grow, and be strong enough to withstand the harsher temperatures of winter. So the first thing we do is we come up with a list of everything we want to grow over winter. This is things we want to grow over winter, but also includes those vegetables we might have grown during the summer but are storing for winter use. So, said many times, we live in Northumberland, not the best climate, but in our list of what we can grow throughout the winter periods, or what we can have ready to store over the winter periods, we've got 34 different types of vegetables, and within each type of vegetable, there's many different varieties. For us as a commercial growers, we can grow it in our farm and in our walled garden, but everybody can use this. In terms of the things that we grow over winter, we have autumn onions, carrots, cavallonero, celeriac, chard, chicory, Chinese cabbage, endive, garlic, Jerusalem artichokes, kale, komatsuna, leeks, lettuce, mizuna, mustard leaves, pak choy, parsnips, potatoes, I'll keep on going, purple sprouting broccoli, red cabbage, rocket, salad onions, salsify, scorzonera, shallots, spinach, not more to come, spring cauliflower, spring cabbage, sprouts, squash, sweet, and winter cabbage. In total, that's 34 types of vegetables we can be eating over the winter and spring periods, early spring periods. So that gives Alex the variety he needs in his kitchen when he's making the meals, but it also provides anybody who's got a back garden or an allotment for them to grow things throughout the year. So 34 different types of vegetables, and also we also like our herbs. So there's 4 herbs we concentrate on during the winter period, and that's chervil, coriander, parsley, and sorrel. So lots of things you can grow over winter. The key thing is then to look to see what varieties you can within those vegetable types. And like I mentioned before, beetroot and carrots. We typically grow red beetroot, white beetroot, golden beetroot, and candy striped beetroot. 4 different types of beetroot. For carrots, there's many more types, many more different shapes, sizes, colours. And that's the sort of thing we look at. We look to see, okay then, what can we have, and what can we have that's different and exciting. So basically, first part, we always look to see what we're going to grow or what we're going to have over winter, because that's the challenging part about all this. We then take that list, and then we then go onto the internet, and there's several companies we use to order seeds from. We're organically certified, so we have to get organically certified seeds. The companies we can go to are Tamar Organics, Vital Seeds, Real Seeds, the organic catalogue. And also, if you go into the major non-organic seed companies, people like Sutton's, they also have an organic area. So there's plenty of choice out there. Once we've sorted out the winter crops and what we want to grow, we then work out how many we want of each type of vegetable. And a big input for that is Alex, how much he wants and how long he wants it for. And that determines how much seed for each type of vegetable we order. Once you got the winter stuff out of the way, we then flip back to the summer. And we flip back to the summer to look at what we call summer fruit and vegetables. What summer fruit and vegetables are: tomatoes, aubergines, cucumbers, gherkins, cucamelons. I'll talk about cucamelons in a minute. Chili peppers, sweet peppers, tomatillos. Those type of summer fruit and vegetables are the real taste of summer. There's nothing better than English tomatoes. And typically we will plant somewhere between 450 and 600 tomato plants each year. Big demand for English tomatoes. If you've got an allotment or back garden, all you do is reduce those numbers. Within that 450 to 600, what we tend to do is we try to get as many different types of varieties of tomatoes we can. And we look at tomatoes in different ways. We look at them in size. So we'll do big tomatoes, we'll do salad tomatoes, we'll do cherry tomatoes. Then we look at different shapes. You can get round, you can get oblong. And then we look at colours. We order red, yellow, stripy, brown, black. And there's nothing better than if you have, you go and do your harvesting of tomatoes from, say, July onwards, and you've got this basket or this dish full of different colours, different shapes, and different sized tomatoes. We grow an awful lot of legumes. Legumes are peas and beans. And what we try to do is we try to have peas and beans from the early part of the summer all the way through to early autumn. We grow broad beans, French beans, peas, runner beans, and sugar snap. And within those, we'll look for different colours and different sizes as well. The first thing that we will harvest round about June-ish time is broad beans. They're the first of the legumes that are ready. And then what we try to do is we try and sequence it so that after the broad beans are ready, we'll have there'll be peas and sugar snaps next, then French beans and runner beans. So all the way through the sort of early summer, right to late summer, we've got lots and lots of lovely peas and beans. So we knock them off. Then we go for the root vegetables. Root vegetables are great because they're sort of immersed in the soil and they take all the goodness out of that soil. And root vegetables just have got a sort of in-depth taste. So we grow beetroot, I mentioned before. We grow red beetroot, golden beetroot, white beetroot, candy coloured beetroot, carrot, many different types of carrots, parsnips for, as I mentioned before, for the overwintering period, potatoes. There's many different types of potatoes. You can have what's called first earlies, second earlies, and a main crop. What we tend to do is the sort of climate we're in, we're not really suited to having first earlies. First earlies is those potatoes are already early. And you'll see, when you go to the shops and supermarkets and you'll see Jersey potatoes, that type of thing. We've also always got to gauge the temperature we have, the climate we have, and what we can grow. What we tend to grow is second earlies and a main crop. And again, a bit like tomatoes, what we look is for different shapes, different sizes, different colours. So we will grow sort of typically white-fleshed potatoes. We will grow red-skinned potatoes, and we'll also grow things like blue and purple potatoes as well. We also grow two things that we've grown for the last few years called salsify and scorzonero. Delicious root vegetables, swede and turnip. So lots of intense taste in all those. So far I've talked about what we're growing over winter, summer fruiting, peas and beans and roots. But if you had to tell them, if I had to say one crop type that we grow lots and lots of, it's brassicas. Brassicas are sprouts, spring cabbage, early summer cabbage, winter cabbage, red cabbage, calabrese, cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, sprout and broccoli. So lots of things, and some of those will grow throughout the winter. It's a major part of what we grow on the farm and in the walled garden. Then we will have our salad crops. And just as I said before about how tomatoes are a taste of summer, so much so are the salad crops we grow. There's nothing better than having lots of salad crops. Salad crops aren't just for spring and summer. We can grow them all the way through the winter. So it's things like chicory, endive, kometsuna, lettuce, mbuna, mizuna, mustard, radishes. Radishes is we classify in the salad crop. Rocket, summer purslane, winter purslane. And again, we're looking for different types, different colours, different shapes, and different tastes. The more intense taste, the better for Alex and the better for his customers. We then have onions, where we grow bulb onions, autumn onions, which I mentioned before, garlic, leeks, spring onions, shallots. So all these things together are giving you the variety you can grow in your back garden, in your allotment, as well as commercial growers like ourselves. And I think what you want to have throughout the whole of your gardening experience is to be harvesting all the way through different tastes, different textures, different experiences. We grow courgettes, summer squash, winter squash, celeriac, celery, and we also grow two what we call perennial vegetables. I mentioned earlier that we grow asparagus. We've got lots of asparagus, but we also grow something called a globe artichoke. And it's got such an intense taste, the globe artichokes. And the sort of globe artichoke plants will last for 3 to 4 years, that type of thing. So that's all the sort of types of vegetables we grow every year. Then we look onto the online seed catalogues and see what we've got and see what we've got that's interesting. So once you've got a list of everything you want to grow, right, we then tend to use textbooks like this and work out how long things take to get from seeding to transplanting to harvesting. And different ones take different lengths of time. Parsnip is in the ground an awful long time. It's in there for months. Things like the salad crops are in just for a short period of time, something like as short as 6 weeks. Once we've got a list of what we want and where we're going to get it from, we then take it to a yearly planner to work out, okay then, these are winter crops when they're going in, we're now putting the summer fruit and crops, and I'll take it now to our whiteboard. We've got a whiteboard just because of the amount of growing beds we've got, but this can easily be done with a spreadsheet, or if you're old school like me, a piece of paper. The next thing you've got to do is work out what's going to go in the ground and when. And how we do it is we have individual growing beds, and then we have January, February, March, April, May going on like that. And we have spaces in here. So this is the polytunnel section, and how many beds we've got in each of the polytunnels. And then we all color coordinate it. And I use 6 different color pens. I use red for summer fruiting. And as I said before, that's your tomatoes, your cucumbers, your peppers. We use purple for the onion family. We use orange for roots. We use green for brassica. We use blue for legumes, the peas and the beans. And we use black for the salad crops are there. And the reason we use that, so what I'll do is, I'll say we'll be growing, we'll be planting out in May tomatoes. I'll typically look for a centre bed, and I'll write tomato in there. And we'll be harvesting them right the way through to the end of September, possibly even into October. It just depends what the weather's like. And then we mark it out like that, knowing that that bed will be free in October. Then I can look to see what we're planting out in October, and we fit it in like that. The reason we use different colours, and you can do different colours on your spreadsheet or even on your bits of paper, is we try to implement a crop rotation, so we're not following brassica by brassica by brassica. We're looking all the time to say, okay, that was one vegetable type. What do we need to follow with something else? Get out there, get your seeds. You can normally order your seeds between November and February at the latest. The earlier you can do in a whole that period, the better it is, because the more choice you're going to have. But we're very lucky in this country that there is a wide choice of vegetable seeds and seed supplies available. Once you've got your seeds, you can then start to sow them, plant them, and most importantly, harvest them. And then you start to get the benefits of all the hard work you've been doing.